Alright, I know you all recall that tier shifts have happened very recently and many metagames are undergoing a lot of changes. Today, I thought we'd just discuss some of the big changes I'm anticipating to happen in the underused tier going forward. Now with Heatran and Tornadus being gone and Weavile dropping, I know that this metagame is going to be revived in great fashion, and let's hop straight into it. But before we do, folks, if you do enjoy this type of content and you desire to see more, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you have not done so already, as we shall be doing a lot more of these, and I'm promising you guys a lot more consistently. I've been absent and neglectful of the people who enjoy this content, and that stops here. Either give everything or give nothing at all. And I desire to give everything, otherwise what am I, if not a failure, doing half-hearted work here and there. But I digress. The first big change I'm anticipating is to special attackers in general, but mainly to the following people. Keldeo had the problem, whether it be Specs or Scarf or any type of Keldeo. It wasn't a bad Pokemon with Tornadus and Heatran roaming around, but it had the problem of it being a bit difficult to use with Tornadus' omnipresence. All Tornadus would do is just come in, switch in with the Assault Vest, rinse and repeat, and you'd have to run away with the Keldeo or be forced to Terastallize, which is a very big decision to make in a game. But with Tornadus gone, there's no regenerator that's going to come in and not feel the pressure from Keldeo's super powerful attacks. The best answer to Keldeo in this year, at least offensive answer, is Latios, and if Latios not clicking recover, the damage is going to stick. So I anticipate a Pokemon like Keldeo to come up. Greninja as well, especially the Battle Bond type of Greninja. There was no point in really rocking Battle Bond Greninja because people had realized that I have to put in so much effort just to claim the KO so I can get my boost. And even with my boost, Tornadus would just simply come in and U-turn out, and the Life Orb chip I acquired throughout the game by doing some battle damage to the opponent hurt me, and my Greninja suddenly dead. But now with a Pokemon that's not coming in repeatedly, over and over and over, that fits on a variety of teams like Tornadus did, Greninja is free to spam its battle bonding powers. Next up is Hydrapple, mostly Nasty Plot, but also Specs Hydrapple. Nasty Plot Hydrapple, it had its place and it was a good defensive wall, but if you ended up clicking Nasty Plot for the turn and the opponent went Tornadus, your time is done. You have to run. With Tornadus Therian being gone, I'm anticipating a lot more ease of use for Hydrapple in this tier. Once Hydrapple comes in, there's not many Pokemon that can one-hit KO it, even with some super effective physical attacks. The only thing that you can most probably threaten it out with is Ice Stab, or an ice attack in general. Such ideas are few and far between. So Hydrapple is going to be afforded a lot more opportunities to safely click Nasty Plot and then fire off the subsequent heavy attack. And lastly, Latios. Everybody knows how annoying it was where you get your Latios in to either hit them with a strong Draco Meteor or threaten even the resist with the special dropping Luster Purge. But Tornadus would just come in, scare out the Latios, and simply U-turn out, affording the opponent the momentum, making sure that the ball lands in the opponent's court so that they can dictate the pace of the game. No longer shall that be happening. Latios has finally been released. It has its checks and counters, yes, like Tinkaton in the tier, and Excadrill can always come in for free, but Tinkaton and Excadrill don't regenerate the damage that Latios throws off with Luster Purge. It sticks, especially if it's Specs, it sticks. And if the special defense gets dropped, you better pray you had heavy health. They should be overwhelmed by the light, the Luster Purge. So yes, special attackers in general are going to be doing a lot more devastating work in the underused tier, due to them not being forced out as easily. Some of the special checks in the tier, like Slowking for example, they don't threaten cold one-hit KOs on many of these Pokemon. They can threaten to disrupt them for certain, like with Thunder Wave and whatnot. Not cold one-hit KOs, or at least heavy damage, like Tornadus used to threaten them. And not all of the checks and answers have pivoting powers with U-turn, and pivoting powers that reward them at the end of the day. It is no secret that Tornadus and Heatran are two of the best anti-stall weapons you can use. Heatran with that Magma Storm, trapping whatever sorry sucker is attempting to wall it, and then taunting them so that they cannot even recover off the passive damage from the magma. It was a very, very easy and reliable way to just punch a hole into the opponent's defenses. Similarly, Tornadus Therian as well was just taunting everybody, knocking every item off, and then the Tornadus' teammates would lay down numerous spikes and other auxiliary hazards onto the field. With those two being gone, I expect Stall to be on the rise and be a quite viable playstyle in my opinion. People are going to have to find more creative answers to disrupt the Stall playstyle. And I can think of a few like Ogerpon Cornerstone dropping coverage moves for Taunt, for example, but main Stall killers have been removed from the underused tier. And I do believe Stall is in a position, if played properly, with one or two risky calls that you should make, prediction here and there, you can basically check everybody in this entire metagame. You've got the best unaware Pokemon, Toxapex is here to be as reliable as ever, and Skarmory and Blissey are available. Pokemon that were once considered immovable walls. But only time will tell. Be mindful, friends. If you're not a fan of Stall, let us know in the comments what kind of creative ideas you have that can deal with Stall. At least creative and consistent ideas. It happens once in a while where you face a Stall with no unaware and you can just belly drum up with some random Pokemon and just sweep. I know that there are other answers out there besides Ogerpon going out of its way just to disrupt Stall with Taunt. Those are the two main concerns or points that I desired to make, and I'm not going to make this video a very drawn out long discussion. One or two sideline points are as follows. With all those taunts and knockoffs flying around, Clodsires and its passive play was not really being used and underused that much, at least in high level play. There were better Pokemon, there were better ground types to use, like Excadrill for example, that do not get invalidated by a simple taunt. You can potentially get away now with using Toxic on your Clodsire once more. Just think about it, friends. Back in the day when Tornadus was here, I talk about back in the day, it was just the other day, but when Tornadus was still around, one taunt in your Clodsire can do absolutely nothing. Can't get rocks up, immune to Earthquake, Toxic is blocked by Taunt, no recovery, a useless Pokemon. Tornadus would just come in all day, every day, and even if you managed to get the poison off, the regenerator ability would just see to it that when Tornadus gets too low, you just regenerate the HP back up by switching out into your Clodsire counter. It was not a good sign for Clodsire when its special defensive talents were being beaten by special attackers in the tier. With Tornadus being gone, Clodsire definitely going to come back into the meta. And finally, Weavile has returned. Ice Stab is very, very dangerous in this tier, but I just want to advertise one trend that I think should be popular in the underused tier. It's no secret that I'm not of the opinion that Weavile should be banned, and I think it is a rather necessary evil in the tier, where we need something reliable and something quick that can beat all the BS that people can pull up with. What I'm recommending for you friends to do is run Terra Electric Weavile. As discussed, there are a number of checks and answers that are available in underused, like Cobalion is a check, Keldeo is even a check, and probably a counter in some fashion because of Vacuum Wave. If you want to run Vacuum Wave in a Keldeo. Tinkaton resists both stabs. Slowking can live the knockoff and threaten you with a Scald Burn. But the reason Terra Electric is because many of the defensive checks like Tinkaton and Cobalion, and even Slowking for example, they tend to run Thunder Wave to disrupt you. So even if you were Terra Ghost or some other arbitrary Terra, like Fire for example, and they thud their Gigaton Hammer or Body Press onto you, and they don't kill you, they 10 to 1 could make a predicted or power play and click Thunder Wave on your +2 Weavile, just to slow it down completely. Even if you do attack them, the fact that they're faster affords them the chance to formulate a second plan versus your Weavile. So dodge those Thunder Waves with Terra Electric Weavile. If you're at a high health, which Weavile tends to be at due to the heavy duty boots complementing its weaknesses, giving it annoying longevity, then your Weavile should always be in a position to live one or two non-super effective attacks, neutral attacks at that. And if you do get the free chance on a random Thunder Wave being thrown around, your Weavile is good to rip through an entire team. There's no need for Weavile to be trying some funny business with Terra Blast Ground for steals, or Terra Ghost to dodge Mark Punches here and there. The ideal game plan for those situations is that you weaken the steel types and you have answers to Mark Punches. But that's neither here nor there, friends. Folks, if you did enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe as we discussed in the intro. But let us know what you think of the underused metagame. What direction do you believe it shall be headed on towards? And what trends have you picked up on in your own games or just in your own mind? If you've thought of ideas that were not as viable back then but can have some new life breathed into it now. Let me know in the comments. Let us all know in the comments down below. But until next time, friends, we shall be U-turning out. Thanks for watching.